You're joking, aren't you? It's the Teesside chef. Are these Irish potato farls? Are they Scottish potato or Tattie scones? Well, I'm English, and where I'm from, they're called potato cakes, so they might just be an English thing. And thinking about it, that must be true, because when have the English ever taken anything from the Irish or the Scottish without asking? I mean, it almost never happened. So while I deny the transgressions of the ruling classes of my country, let's crack on with this brilliant all-British classic. And let's refer to all of the Irish as British, just to be extra specially out of order here. And I've started with 400 grams of cooked potato, and I've cooked those potatoes in the normal way with a bit of salt, as if I'm going to have them for me tea. But I'm not having them for me tea, because I'm going to let them cool fully, and then I'm going to make potato cakes with them, aren't I? And I'm going to put all this potato through a potato ricer. But you can mash it with a masher if you like, or crush it underneath the iron fist of your genocidal regime if you don't have a masher. And doing it this way will make sure that the potato comes out as smooth as an old man's shins. And I'm adding 80 grams of all-purpose flour to that now, and this recipe is as easy as using the world's largest military power to ethnically cleanse one of your neighbours in the 17th century. And about a third of a teaspoon of salt is dead important here, and I'm also going to add 50 grams of melted butter to this mix now. And I'm going to get me paws in and give it a good old mashing to bring it all together. And while I'm doing this, you can subscribe, you lot, Come on now. But don't turn the notifications bell on. And hey, I'm not using clever reverse psychology to make sure you actually do turn the notification bell on. I genuinely don't want you to be annoyed by all my notifications. Bad for your mental health, all these notifications buzzing your phone all the time. And I'm just preparing to roll out this mix now. So I've got a piece of baking paper in there and I've floured it generously. And let's get our mix on now and give it a bit of a flatten down. And shape it a bit before you start rolling it with your hands. And if you find it's a bit too dry, add a little bit of water. And if it's a bit too wet, add some flour. And if it's just right, give yourself a pat on the back, you geniuses. And traditionally, it would be rolled out into a round the same size as the frying pan that you were going to use, or a large round. And it wants to be about as thick as your smartphone when you've rolled it out. Now I've got a pan here, and I've preheated that pan on a medium heat, and I'm just putting a little bit of flour in there before plonking my round in. And once it's in there, if you've got any raggedy edges, just sort of push it together and shape it a bit with your spatula to make it look all neat around the edges. And you want to cook this on a medium heat for about 5 minutes. Don't arse about with it though at this point, just sort of leave it alone, And after 5 minutes, you want to flip it, but be very careful when doing this because the top is still dead soft and the whole thing could just break on you. So very gently with your spatula, just scoop underneath, make sure it's not sticking before you try and lift it. And you might need to bring your hand in here to help you flip this, but be careful not to burn yourself while you're doing this. And if you do burn yourself, you can't sue me, you have been warned and I've gotten out anyway, so, be like getting blood out of a stone, trying to get any money out of me for burning yourself doing this. And after 5 minutes on the other side, it's going to be ready to go, so get it out your pan and stick it on a grid to cool or wherever. And traditionally, the round would be cut into 4 pieces, and that's where the name farl comes from, apparently. You can do this when they're in the pan, but you will most likely have a nightmare here, as the outside can get quite leathery and make them difficult to get through. And even if you're prepared to scratch your pan with a knife, they probably still stick somewhere. So you have to go through them again with your spatula and have an absolutely massive chew on. And even when you've done all that, they're probably still going to stick somewhere and you're going to have an absolute bollock. And you'll get such a narc on that you'll probably end up kicking the dog if you've got one. But save yourself all that bother by just getting your fully cooked round, and when it's cooled, just cut through it with a pair of scissors. Much easier doing it this way. So just cut it into 4 pieces and they'll be dead tidy when you've done them, and your blood pressure will be at a nominal level and the dog won't get a tanned arse off the end of your boot. And doing it this way can just be our little secret. You don't need to tell anybody about that. And when they're all finished, they're going to look sweet as a nut, mate. So stack them all together. Each of those 4 quarters, or farls, or quads as the mathematical community refers to half a semicircle. But I think there's a better way to do this, and I call this the English way because as an Englishman, I'm allowed to commandeer other cultures without anybody asking questions. Well, at least I used to be, before the lefties took over everything. And I've rolled out my mix again here to about the thickness of my smartphone, and I'm going to cut individual rounds out of these, and you can make these as big or as small as you like. The bought ones often come in rectangular form. You can do that if you like. It's up to you, innit? I'm not going to say out. And I've floured me griddle, and you can do these in a pan as well. And then just fire your good old English British bulldog. Oh, blimey, governor, knees up, mother brown, fish and chips, God bless her. Potato cakes onto the pan, or wherever you're cooking them. And again, you want to cook them for 5 of the Queen's minutes on a medium heat before flipping them. And they are much easier to flip this way. You just seem to have a little bit more control. And once you've flipped them, cook them again for another 5 of the Queen's delicate, fragrant, noble, gracious, beloved, dignified minutes on the other side. And your potato farls or tatty scones or potato cakes are done now, so I'm just going to sort of gather them up on my spatula, and I'm going to put them on a little grid to cool down, because I like to toast them before I eat them. You can't eat them fresh from the pan, of course. And they look pretty perfect, to be honest. Nice and golden in colour. They're lovely and soft and satisfying, these, you know. You should definitely give them a try. And let's have a good old close-up now, so you can see how tasty they look. And the only thing left to do now is give them a try. So I've toasted one for 1 billion years until it's 1,000,000 degrees. And I like to put enough butter on them to feed a marauding army of murderous maniacs before getting them drilled into my gob. Oh, that's tasty, that is, you know. That is nice. So are these potato farls or tatty scones? Are they griddle scones or potato cakes? What do you call them? Do you even care? Let me know in the comments, everyone. And hey, thanks for watching, eh? Hopefully see you again soon, my mates. Ta-ra.